everybody, hope you're all doing really well and I hope you're having a great holiday for whatever you celebrate, and welcome to my pre-Christmas book haul. So I know what you're thinking, Mary, it's not been Christmas yet, why have you bought so many books? I got a job at basically the UK version of Barnes & Noble. And that comes with a very lovely discount, so you better believe I was abusing the fuck out of that just about every time I went on shift. So I've got a fuck ton of books here. So I'm going to start off with the ones that I actually, being a bookseller, you do actually have the opportunity to just email publishers. You know, they sent out like weekly kind of like notifications with a list of books and stuff that they were happy to like give out review copies for, and just with the details of who to email. So I applied for a bunch, and you don't always get them, but I did actually, luckily I got 4 sent to me by different publishers. I'm going to start off with those ones. So I got these for free. I'm just going to be writing reviews on them on the website and stuff. The first one is Of Women and Salt by Gabriella, Garcia, and I can't remember what this is supposed to be about, but it sounded really, really awesome, and I love the cover as well. It's so pretty. I'm so excited to actually have this one. It's not too long of a read, so hopefully it won't take me too long to get through, but it sounds really, really interesting. I cannot wait to read this one. And then was very lucky to get a copy of She Who Became the Sun. I've been hearing so many things about this book, you know, some good, some bad, so I'm definitely interested to read it and find out what my opinion of the book's going to be, and also, you know, look at that lovely hardcover. I then got a copy of Skin of the Sea, another one I've been hearing really, really interesting things about. I'm so excited to read this one. I haven't read a good mermaid book in a while, so, you know, I'm really, really excited to see what this take with the Mamiwata and stuff is going to be like. You know, it's mythology I'm not familiar with. It's like Nigerian sort of mermaid mythology. There's a little bit of it in Descendants of the First by Renike Amayo, so I'm definitely excited to find out more about that. And last but not least, I got a copy of The Forevers by Chris Whittaker. This sounds incredibly sad, but like also like, you know, just one of those like really, really great books to read. So yeah, this is going to be really interesting, I think, to find out actually what this book's about. I mean, look at that cover as well. Like, that is just so pretty. Oh my god. I then got a couple of books bought by my friend because it was my birthday earlier in the year and it's also Christmas, so this is the first time we've actually been able to see each other since last Christmas Eve. So she bought me a couple of books, which was really kind of her. So the first one is The Girl in the Tower. This is the sequel to The Bear and the Nightingale, which I actually read back in like January. I've been saying all year that I'm going to continue with this series and I haven't yet. So I finally have a copy of the second book, so I'm going to continue with that series soon. And then she also got me The Ninth Reign, and it looks like I'm actually going to be reading this with a few friends in January, so I'm really, really excited to be participating in that. Now on to just the books that I bought myself. So Library of the Dead. I was meaning to buy this sort of once it came out and things, but then it was sort of, you know, it was on one of the tables in the bookshop and stuff, so I just, you know, it was calling to me. Apparently it's set in Edinburgh as well, and it's all about the ghost stories there and things, so I love when things are set in places that I'm familiar with. You know, I did live in Edinburgh for a year, so I'm so excited to see what this does with the setting, and like, you know, it'll be really fun to actually visualise where I am and stuff because I've actually been there. And then The Untold Story by Genevieve Cogman. This is the 8th and possibly last book in the Invisible Library series. I will have a video coming out about this series. I love it so much, it's just so fun and it's just such an easy read, and I wasn't expecting to love this series as much as I do, but it's one of my all-time favourites. And I've just been so excited because, you know, the last book ended on such a cliffhanger and I was just like, I need the sequel now. So yeah, I'm gonna get to this as soon as I can. I then bought Master of Gin by P. Jenny Clark, and this is the proper like novel of the series that I recently read, A Dead Gin in Cairo, which is like a prequel novella to this book series. I really want to read the other novellas before I read this book, so I am definitely going to be listening to those, I think, on audiobook. But I absolutely love the Dead Gin in Cairo. I love the world building so much. I do have a spoiler-free review for it, so definitely feel free to check that out. But yeah, I'm so excited to actually read a proper like full novel from this author in this world with these characters, but I'm definitely going to read the novellas first before I get to this. And then this was a book that I'd taken out in the library earlier in the year, but then I never got around to reading it, so I just thought, oh, I'll just buy a copy, and that's The Coven. And this sounds awesome, like, you know, loads of like witchy stuff and sort of like, you know, female power and stuff within the context of witches and witch burnings and stuff, and I think that's such an interesting concept. It sounds fantastic. I cannot wait to read it, you know. I mean, I'm not gonna like say that about all of these. Believe it or not, I'm actually trying not to say, oh, I can't wait to read this, because, you know, all book hauls are like that, but, you know, such a cool cover, such a cool concept, and especially sort of witchy stuff, you know. I've recently actually bought myself a tarot deck because I kind of want to get into some sort of like witchy shit, so yeah, I'm definitely like gonna be reading a lot more books that are kind of like witchy based, I think. I then discovered that the 3rd book in the Montague sibling sort of series is out, and that is The Nobleman's Guide to Scandal and Shipwrecks. Yes, I did have to read that off because these are such long titles and I can never remember what they are. This is the sequel to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, and then its sequel book, The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy. I love those books so much, like they're just such good fun. Like, I absolutely love this series of these characters, so I'm really, really excited to go back to this world, see where Monty and Felicity, what they've been up to since we last saw them, and see about this new character who's being introduced that I wasn't expecting. But yeah, it's so big as well, and it's like, it's a hardcover as well. My other ones are paperbacks, so that's a bit sad that it's not going to match, but at the same time, it's good and I can't wait to read it, so you know, I'm not waiting until the paperback gets released. Next up is A Clockwork River. This is just one that I saw in the shop and it was almost entirely a cover buy. You know, I do look at the covers and then I read the blurb. I mean, the blurb sounds great. It's a chunky boy and oh, it's just so pretty. I just love it so much. It looks so good. It sounds exactly my kind of book. Yeah, it's just so pretty. And this is one I had my eye on for a while, and that is The Lost Storyteller by Amanda Block. Just, again, a beautiful cover that really drew myself to it, and then, you know, then you read the blurb and it's sort of about this woman's father who's kind of left her a bunch of stories for her and stuff, and I don't really know what it's about after that, but it sounds just so beautiful and interesting, and yeah, it's such a pretty cover as well. Like, you know, it's almost entirely another cover by, I can't help it, I'm a weak-willed woman. Another almost entirely cover by is The Winter Garden by Alexandra Bell. This, I just saw it on the shelf, it looks so pretty, and it's just so interesting. It almost gives me Caraval vibes, so it's kind of about this woman who, I think, as a girl, ended up in some fantasy garden or something, and then ended up back in the real world, and she's been trying to get back there her entire life, and then sort of an opportunity kind of arises. It gives me sort of Caraval vibes from the blurb. I mean, well, I didn't really like Caraval, like the idea of it, so I'm definitely interested to see where this one goes and exactly what it's going to be about, but again, just such a pretty cover, I couldn't resist it. It's just gorgeous. Another one I got was Certain Dark Things by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is, you know, I read Gods of Jade and Shadow by this author earlier in the year, and when I saw they had a new book out, you know, it sounds really interesting about a kind of like sci-fi kind of like steam, you know, punk kind of setting, but then with like vampires, I think. Like, it just sounds really cool. Again, what a cool cover. I really, really like this author's writing style, so I'm definitely excited to see what they kind of do with this genre. You know, the last one was kind of more mythology sort of based. And I also really want to read their other book, Mexican Gothic. Well, I've heard sort of mixed reviews on that one, but yeah, I really do like her writing, and I'm definitely going to be reading more of her books, you know, starting with this one. I then just happened to spy in the YA section Lionheart Girl. I don't know what this is about, but it sounds really cool. You know, it's kind of, I think it's about a young girl who can shapeshift or something, or at least her family can shapeshift, and she's kind of just going to deal with that or something. Again, just almost entirely a cover by. I mean, it does sound really, really cool. I love the sound of it. I love just kind of, you know, this sort of gold bit on the bottom and the top, it just looks so pretty. Really, really excited for this one. It sounds awesome. And we love a good retelling, and I think, you know, there's been a lot of kind of like retellings of the same thing, like I see one more fucking Beauty and the Beast retelling, I'm going to throw something at someone. But then I found Midnight in Everwood, which appears to be a sort of Nutcracker sort of retelling things, and I love the Nutcracker. It's a very kind of Christmassy thing, so I'm definitely in the mood to be watching it at the moment, especially the Barbie version. I love the Barbie and the Nutcracker version, just saying. And yeah, I mean, again, what a pretty cover. What a pretty cover. But it was really, really interesting. I do love the tale of the Nutcracker, and I just kind of want to just see what this author does with that concept in a fantasy retelling, so really, really excited to see what happens there. I then bought a copy of Six Crimson Cranes. I've heard lots of things about her other series, Spin the Dawn and Unravel the Dusk, but you know, this is her kind of new series that she's starting, I think, and might be a standalone. Sounds really interesting about this young girl whose brothers all get turned into cranes or something, and then she has to kind of go on a quest to sort of undo that. It went through a cover change, which I think is kind of one of the reasons why it's been on lots of people's radars recently, is that, you know, they got these beautiful sort of covers, and I absolutely love it. It sounds awesome. I'm really, really excited to read this author and just kind of see what all the hype's about and see if this lives up to the hype I've heard about her other duology, which I haven't actually read, but I thought, you know what, I'll just skip straight to this one because I don't think I really like the sound of Spin the Dawn, but I love the sound of this one. And last but not least, I had to go in this morning to pick up a present for my dad, and I got my booster vaccine today as well, so, you know, get jabbed up if you're okay with that. And I saw when I was shelving things yesterday that we had copies of the Dark Crystal comics, so I have bought the Creation Myths, because I haven't actually seen the original Jim Henson film, but I am obsessed with the prequel series which came out on Netflix a couple of years ago. I do have a sort of 40 minute video where I tell you why that you need to read it, that you need to watch it, so please feel free to go watch that to hear my thoughts on the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. That's a fantastic TV show. If you're looking for something to watch, I cannot recommend it enough. And yeah, I love the art in it and stuff, and I thought, you know what, I do kind of want to just get into the comics and stuff and get into this sort of world a little bit more, especially since they're possibly going to be continuing the TV show in comic form, since unfortunately it did get cancelled because Netflix is stupid. And yeah, so this is Creation Myths. I believe it follows Olgra and her son or something. I'm not 100% sure, but it sounds amazing, and I saw it yesterday and I was like, I really just want to get into some more Dark Crystal, so yeah, I'm going to be starting to read comics, which is not something I tend to read. I've read manga in the past, but never really comics before, so this is going to be really exciting for me. And that is everything that I have bought in the last, this is like in the last month. I'm a Christmas temp, so I started towards the end of November. And if you know me, you know I tend to buy a few books, read through them, and then I'll buy, so I don't tend to buy more than about 5 or 6 at a time, And even then, when I do buy things, it's usually on a gift card or something. But, it was 50% off. I couldn't help myself. I mean, a staff discount. What was I supposed to do? Come on. But have you read any of these books? Please let me know, spoiler free, what your thoughts are in the comments. Which one should I read first? Which one can I leave for a little bit later? I do have more books on my shelves that do need my attention, but definitely let me know. Have you read any of these books? What did you think of them? Do you think I'm going to enjoy them? Feel free to watch any of the videos that I've mentioned. I'll leave links to those in the cards and they'll also be down in the description below. Feel free to leave a like and feel free to subscribe. I should be back to posting 2 videos a week regularly. This is the last video that I will be filming in this setup for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be going home and I haven't had a chance to pre-film any videos because I have been running around like a headless chicken for the last 3 months. My dad's due to turn up any second now, sort of I'm not finished packing. That's just kind of an example of how my life's going at the moment. So I'll be filming at my mum's. I do have bookshelves and things there, so I will have a bit of a setup going, but yeah, it will look a bit different. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you have a really good Christmas and New Year and enjoy other festivities that you celebrate. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.